How can you learn to get along with people that you don't totally like in every aspect of their personality and their behavior? That's the subject of today's video. This is something that I think I've gotten a lot better at in my life, but I still have a lot that I can improve with regards to it. And I want to improve it more because I've seen how it can benefit myself and the other individual in question. This is something I think is so important because if we stay with people who we easily click with, resonate with, and vibe with, I almost think we won't grow as incredibly as if as in those situations where we are learning to get along with and communicate and exchange ideas with people who we disagree. I think we have a lot of skills that we can grow in ourselves when we do that. So that's the focus of today's video. That's what I want to talk about, and I want to invite you to leave me a comment down below if you've ever dealt with someone who you didn't see eye to eye with in every aspect, or most aspects, but you learned to get along with them and you developed a communication style with them that would work, and you even adopted some of their life hacks or ways of looking at the world to your own benefit. Things that brought value and meaning to your own life that you got from them because you were able to stay open and communicate with them. Now, in my own life, some examples I could think of. I once had a coworker and a friend who, I think he turned off a lot of people because he was something of a chatterbox. He was just go, 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 go all the time, and he tended to dominate conversations. But what I learned to appreciate about him was his energy levels. And I thought to myself, I would like to glean from him how he's able to stay so energetic day after day after day from morning till night. And I was able to do that, and I'll forever be grateful for that lesson in particular, but there were others. Another example I could give you are, sometimes I would have teachers who were very strict, and the way that they framed things or taught lessons was almost like aggressive or critical. But I knew they weren't trying to be mean towards any person in particular. It was just the way that they spoke. And I was able to learn to listen for the truth of the message, separating out, the truth from the message that they had to share from the way they were sharing it. And understanding that the truth that they carried, that they were trying to share, was something that was so right for me. And if I had just let the way that they shared the message overtake my senses, I would have missed that truth that was so valuable for me. The Stoics have a good framework of teachings about this, how to deal with people that are difficult, whose personalities you don't really like. And they would basically say you have two options. You can educate them, or you can ignore them. So if you feel like somebody has this personality trait or this behavior style or attitude that you don't like and it's causing discord, maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's someone in your community or somebody in your class, you can seek to address it constructively if you feel that you have the skill set and the patience and the communication ability to be able to do that. You can face the issue with them and help them to become better. Or you can just kind of tolerate them or avoid them or ignore them. And I would add something to this suite of tactics, and I guess it falls under the sort of ignore category. But I would say you could learn to ignore or turn a blind eye towards their worst traits and instead focus on what's good about them. Focus on the good that you can highlight, compliment, and also learn from that or adopt those things. When we compliment people or when we highlight something they're doing good, we're telling them that we want more of that. We're encouraging that part of them to grow. and the parts that are more negative hopefully will wither. But sometimes those negative parts also have to be addressed constructively. There's another saying I've heard, and I want to share it with you in our last few minutes here together before I go. But it goes something like this: if you treat people as they are, they will remain as they are. If you treat people as they should be, or as you would like them to be, then they will behave as they should, or as you would like them to. So what it means is, let's imagine there's somebody difficult to get along with, you don't really like them. You're sort of automatically prejudging them. You know you don't like this person. You already start to throw up these filters and walls which inhibit communication. And the whole entirety of your being, the energy that you bring towards them, is going to keep them locked in their behavior, locked in that certain cycle with you. Whereas if you can focus on things they're doing great, highlight that, focus on that in your conversations, compliment that, tell them how you've learned from them, tell them what you like about them, you are raising the bar. You are focusing not only yourself but also them on higher targets, higher vibrations, higher energy levels. And that's going to provide a framework or an opportunity for them to metamorphosize or to level up. So remember that saying as well. If you treat somebody as they are, they will behave as they are. If you treat somebody as they should, as you would like them to, if you treat someone, now how does it go? Oh well, it's something like that. You get the idea. If you treat somebody as they are, you stay as they are. And if you treat them in the way that they should be, or the way that you would like them to be, then they will start to behave like that. So it's all about the expectations that you set and the tone of the conversations that you maintain. And that takes practice, that takes experience. It may not come easy to you at first. You may feel like certain people are just sapping too much of your energy. And that's because you're just not at that level yet where you can handle too much of this kind of interaction that I'm speaking of. But it's a practice that's worthwhile. It's a muscle set that you can develop, and it's going to enable you to be a leader in your circle of friends and in your family and in your communities and in your classes and at your workplace. I'll leave it at that for now. Remember to leave me a comment down below. Share me a story or even just a few sentences about a person who was difficult, who you didn't really like, who didn't vibe with you. Not the kind of person you would typically expect or imagine to be friends with, but you figured out a way to make the relationship more happy and more constructive. I would love to connect with you over that topic in the comments. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye for now.